Welcome to the Cura Tu Historia YouTube channel. Anything and everything about Hispanic genealogy. This is your channel to learn about tips, about resources. It, I will try to cover as much as possible about the countries. And what do I mean by Hispanic? I mean former Spanish colonies, mainly in or specifically Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. And we will be talking about, everything that I can cover, that can help you do your research and make you realize that yes, it is possible to connect to your ancestors and connect to their stories and just rediscover and reclaim your history. All right. So in my previous video, we talked about civil registration. So I was going to talk about church records, but actually, I think in this video, I'm going to really quickly talk about Puerto Rico. Because we were talking about civil registration and how in most countries, if civil registration has been digitized, those are the records that you are going to hit first. And you are going to go into pretty quickly. But with Puerto Rico, the strategy changes a bit because in Puerto Rico, we became part of the United States in 1898. And officially in 1910, we had the first U.S. federal census. So the U.S. federal census is a record where somebody goes home to home and records who lives there, what they do for work, and their ages, all this amazing information. And in Puerto Rico, it started in 1910. And after 1910, and the US federal census is every 10 years. And yes, these are available to us online for free. Okay. So you're going to find Puerto Rico appears in 1910, 1920, 1930. Then there was a special federal census done 1935 to 1936 for agricultural, where they actually enumerated the land and who owned what. But they also did a population schedule, which meant they also put out a list of the households and a specific information on each household. And then there's the 1940, and the last census that became available to us is the 1950 census. So if you're starting with Puerto Rico, you are going to go for, because remember, we're starting from the most recent generation. You are going to go into those census records first. And those census records are what is going to give you the information that you're going to need. And naturally, it happens pretty naturally. You're going to go into those civil registration records, which again are the records that were kept or are kept in the local government level. So life events that were recorded, birth, marriage, and death, and then recorded and documented at the local government level or municipality level in the case of Puerto Rico. So that's what happens with Puerto Rico. So first, focus on getting those census records. I always focus, depending on ages and things like that. I mean, we will talk about a little more specific stuff, but 1950, and then go from there and go from there and see. And then you're just going to go into those civil registrations. So it's going to be a combination of census, U.S. federal census, and civil registration for Puerto Rico until 1910. Before 1910 to 1885, Puerto Rico, you're going to focus on civil registration. Before 1885, that is when church records, if they are available for the town that you're researching in, digitized. I mean, you can always check with the local church and contact the church, but if some of them a lot of them have been digitized, so you definitely want to check if they have been digitized. And then you go into the church records. And I will be talking about the church records soon because those are going to become very important. And there are definitely ways for you to find out. In Puerto Rico specifically, there is an amazing website and resource that I think is underused, and it's available to you for free. And it has to do very much so with the church records. But I will talk to you next time. Any questions, comment below, click like and subscribe. And let's just keep this going, everybody. Bye.